bicycle and getting exercise as greatly beneficial to the health and well-being of village aides. It's a big step towards sustainable transport. It will hopefully be a catalyst for other governments around the country to change their thinking and prove that there are effective modes of transport that aren't detrimental to the environment. Mr. Speakers, we have demonstrated the Cycling Integration Act is a worthy bill of consideration as it addresses some terrible deficiencies in the New South Wales transport system. Those opposite have chosen to ignore the plight of the cyclists in rural and regional New South Wales. So I urge all members to consider the cyclists in those areas as well. We are the party for the #1 plan for transport infrastructure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
I call a member for Pittwater. And a fine member it is too.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Wiliiam Berthelot, member for Pittwater. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the government, I affirm that the essence of the bill to radically transform transport in our great state to create a cohesive and efficient system is necessary. However, the opposition is trying to do the exact opposite. I agree that the object is to create a sustainable and integrated public transport system and to encourage cycling as a healthy alternative. It is imperative, to quote the member for Coogee, to reduce congestion in a congested city and to instill the notion that cycling is an eco-friendly and carbon-neutral approach. The opposition has failed to prove any of those. Mr. Speaker, we are in contention of placing bike racks on the front of buses, which I'll begin with. Clause 12 states that carrier racks will be placed on the front of all new buses that service transport for New South Wales routes. And Mr. Speaker, this is a step backwards for society. In the past few years, 45 prepay-only routes have been introduced. 2 ticket machines have been implemented on every single bus, and they've invented a new ticketing system, all to reduce dwell times and loading times of buses. If we're going to put bike racks on the front of buses, this throws all of this out the window.
Will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The MTA of New York estimated loading times of bikes of 45 to 60 seconds on average in good weather and low congestion per bike. This would result in a maximum of 4 minutes loading and unloading every 2 bikes. Only 2 bikes would be allowed due to safety and licensing concerns. This means for the bulk articulated buses, which the FCA has over 200, only 1 for every 43 people would have a bike. How is it accurately catering to the cycling community, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, there is no need to put bikes on buses. It has been proven in the Australian Capital Territory that it does not work. Also, Mr. Speaker, they say that they're going to put them on new buses, but the FCA has, quote, no intentions to purchase any new large orders of buses, so they're not going to be putting any on them now for the next 5, 10 or 15 years. So nothing's going to happen anyway. Now, Mr. Speaker, we are not going to put them at CountryLink railway stations. Mr. Speaker, the criteria of putting bicycle racks at country stations is that 10% of the population are identified as cyclists. The only country electorates that meet that criteria are Wollongong, Wagga Wagga, Albury and the Clarence Valley. Out of those 4 electorates, only 1 of them has daily service, and that doesn't even meet the other criteria. So the officers have lied to you, and they're not going to put no CountryLink stations fit any of their criteria, and they are not catering for rural areas. We want to put emphasis on bus and bike multimodal transport because it's the most efficient way of doing it. City Rail and Sydney stations have more preference because there is the demand for it. We are not discriminating against country stations. The demand simply just isn't there at country stations. You can argue that until the cows come home, but the demand... Mr. Speaker, whereas bike commutes with racks at bus stops will be highly encouraged through an aggressive marketing campaign. Here's the reason, Mr. Speaker, the thousands of commuters do not wish to see mere 2 bike racks on the front of Sydney buses. They are an eyesore, a safety concern. People have to walk out into oncoming traffic. Mr. Speaker, they wouldn't be put on any buses to begin with because no purchase are going to be made for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Lastly,
What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, point of order on the government's finance. The member opposite mentioned purchasing. Debate on questions of government finance is not allowed. In Youth Parliament, thank you.
I think the member has been answering the lead of the question, and I'll allow him to continue in that vein.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, bikes are far too unwieldy and unsafe. To be restrained properly on bikes, it will be proven too costly yet again to refurbish the bike.
Point of order, the member will resume his seat.
Mr. Speaker, might I reiterate to the member for Pittwater that debate on government finance is not allowed.
I will ask the member to return to the lead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The opposition slowly entangled the House in a web of lies and deceit. It is time to move Australia forward. It is time to move Australia forward, and the government and the opposition is pulling it to a grinding halt, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I call the member for Fairfield.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Andrew Lamb, member for Fairfield. Mr. Speaker, it is of great importance in everyone's life to keep fit and active. The integration bill encourages